Hi, my name is Shaan, and I go to Mountain View High School, and my main project, or my summer project, was the Big Time Watch. And the summer project really just taught me about soldering and how to make circuits, which really helped me a lot in my main project. So my main project is a hand gesture controlled robot. And here's a really quick demo. So that's turning, making the forward two. And going backwards is like, yeah, sometimes a little bit finicky, but yeah. One of the main difficulties I had was with this claw. So the servo motors here are kind of like a little bit cheap, so they broke really easily. So this one actually doesn't even work. It just sort of like has like a stand to keep the claw up. And this servo motor works, but if I plug it in, it won't. All it'll do is just open it because it's really mainly mechanical problem because these are the gears are too close to each other, so it can't open up and close properly. So that's going to be like some modification that I want to work on. I think it's going to be pretty easy to get these two to work. I just need to replace this and fix or loosen up this claw. And as you can see, since this is broken, I'm using a piece of wood to just hold it up so it doesn't like hit the phone when you're in a robot. So my robot has an Arduino on it, and my glove has an Arduino. And on my glove, I have these flex sensors. So the flex sensors are basically variable resistors, and when I flex them, it changes current, and which changes the value of my it changes the value that these flex sensors are outputting. So when my flex sensor like changes, so for my mapping, I think the maximum it could be was like 600 mils on bent. When I bent it, it would be around like 250. And when it turned into 250, then my Arduino realized that it was bent. And I have this thing called an XB on it. It basically just uses wireless communication. So my glove can move my robot wirelessly. And that's mainly what I did for my glove. On my robot, I have an H-bridge, which mainly just gives more power to my two motors here. And I'm using these like rechargeable batteries as ways to power my Arduino. And I'm using a 9-volt battery, so I just set out the H-bridge. So on here, I have my Arduino here, and this is basically the computer. It has a microcontroller in here, and it basically tells my entire robot what to do. And the XV receives a range of values. So let's say I flex this flex sensor. It'll output, and then it'll like say A, and it'll tell this flex sensor that I'm flexing this flex sensor, and it'll know whether to move this forward or backwards depending on what my code says. So if I do this one, it'll do the same. They'll send P, this one C, this one T. And one of the main modifications I think I'm going to do is fix this and make different gestures. So like if I do two and like 3 and 4 bent, it'll open it, and if I have 1 and 2 bent, it'll close it. So that's what I mainly want to do. I also think it would be pretty cool to to remove the breadboard and make it a PCB when I have more time. Maybe like paint it so it looks like black or something. I think it would look pretty cool like that. So one of my like reflections from Blue Stamp is I learned a lot about mechanical engineering and software. So I had no idea how to like use the Arduinos. I didn't even know what they were when I first came here. All I had was like a little bit of prior research that I did before I came. So I learned a lot about how to program these, what they are, and like, how I can use them for so many different things. So yeah, that's my project. So thank you. Any questions? Yeah,
You made everything possible, right? Wireless communication, you made your Arduino to work, like control everything. Do you know how XP send data from one Arduino to another, and in what form, what signals are there? Do you know that?
So like, I configured them so they both know each other's like destination addresses. So if I flex this one, this flex sensor, since I have an XB shield on here, the XB will receive like A, and then I can send it here. But like, are you talking about like how?
Yeah, I mean like analog signal, digital signal, radio frequency signals? What kind of
Like
signals are there?
probably digital signal.
Okay. So you mean like it transmits 0 and 1 over there, binary form?
Yeah.
Okay. So what if like, oh, I don't want to ask that question. Go on.
So how many motions do you have?
Right now I have 4. This moves it forward, this moves it back, this moves it left, this moves it right. The back one isn't working that well because I've been testing with this a lot, and I flexed it a lot, so it changes the numbers that it receives. So normally it should be 600 when it's unbent and 250 when it's bent. But since I've been flexing it a lot, it sort of just changes the values. So I'm probably going to have to remake this flex sensor or figure out a way how to, or just change the mapping in my code. So I believe when I was working on it, it would say that both of these were flexed, although only this one was flexed. So I'm pretty sure it's just mainly a code problem, or I might need to just make a new flex sensor. Yes?
Did you find the hardware or the software more challenging?
Software. The hardware, putting it together was, well, making the flex sensors to like soldering them all together was really difficult because a lot of the times I didn't have everything like twisted on properly, so not everything was receiving power. So that was really difficult, and the H-bridge was pretty difficult, but software was probably the most difficult, like getting it to work on using code.